reboat. But if you divide my $30,000 by the 1,200 square foot that my boat may drift over according to NetSer, I got that use of that land for $25 per square foot. Nowhere comparable to the real estate sales or slips you're comparing to. And important to note is of that 1,200 square foot that I'm supposedly drifting over, people still come by in kayaks, dinghies, fishing tubes, playing music, taking photos. The city-owned slips I see have signs that say no unauthorized personnel. Different. And if the city contends that a dimensional measurement is now lineal feet, and so my 40-foot mooring is supposedly 20 feet by 60 feet, 160 lineal feet. That works out to $1,875 per lineal foot. Again, way different than the comparisons. I've submitted most of this in writing. The missing page 18 I brought up on January 10th that is now in the report, and it was on the city's website as of the 2 days ago. You said you read everything. If nobody noticed that missing page, please read things more.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Mike Fitzmaurice. Been here about 25 years, I think, of my mooring. Would it be possible to see the city's page up on the screen again, the illustration you have on your computer? I have a very good point.
I mean, you have 3 minutes here. This is for public comment.
Understood.
Go ahead.
I wanted to show what your city had on your PC as an illustration of the harbor. No, just the blank page on the screen.
Just go ahead and
okay, you had a photo of the harbor showing prominent boats on moorings. One of the things that's allowed is consideration of value that institution or a use brings. The harbor without those boats would be a dismal harbor. Every photo you see of the harbor, every use of the harbor relates to those boats that are in there, not just the houses on the waterfront. I think that might be a consideration that we actually bring value to the harbor by our presence. If you make the rates to where people like myself couldn't possibly pay for a boat, the boat will be abandoned. That won't be there any longer. There's any number of boats that cannot possibly justify their existence at these new rates. Going on, the appraisal really neglects a fundamental point. It's long-term storage. It's nothing to do with any land use. It's nothing to do with any dock use. It's long-term storage that great effort allows us to take our boats out, but as opposed to someone who has a dock where he can at any given day go on a boat, have cocktails on the boat if he wants, this or that. Mooring holders have to, as was mentioned, drag a dinghy out to the water, row or whatever across to our boat. It's a totally different uses model. The appraisal should be using appraisal like usage. None of the appraisal techniques he used did that, with the one exception of looking at other harbor moorings, which surprisingly are all reasonable values, other than the one attempt to claim that they're going to go up in San Diego by some huge factor. All the other harbors have quite reasonable rates. I think there's no reason we need to leave that as the fair basis for our evaluation. And finally, other notes is that issues were used as private transaction costs were alluded to, but those are illegal transactions. I don't know how an appraiser can use an illegal transaction as a basis of value any more than you can use the street value of drugs to compare pharmaceuticals. And also referring to the transfer cost when ones are done properly, well, that cost is based on the artificial nature of the structure we have right now. It's not a fair market.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, my name is Dr. Long Pham. I'm a retired nuclear engineer and retired Orange County Water Education trustee. I'm here this evening to bring, to report that I agree with everything people have presented to you. One thing that nobody mentioned, that we have something called Prop 13. Okay, those of us who own the mooring, no, we don't own it, but we have the mooring for a long time. My wife and I live in the city for over 40 years, and we own a mooring for more than 25 years. Okay, if we comparing the appraisal from 2016 until now, let's consider Prop 13, only up to 2% a year. You know, people talking about CPI. CPI applied for the people, for the newcomer. That's good. But for the people that have been mooring for a long time, I think you guys may want to consider 2%, up to 2% a year. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening. My name's Rory Folsom. I'm a Peninsula property owner and a mooring permittee. New permittee. Thank you, Commission, for giving me a few minutes here. I sit on some of these. I know how hard it is. I do CPUC. I work with one of the largest pipeline companies in the country, and I sit in these commissions every day. But what I do have to explain as a combat vet, my dream was to own a boat in Newport Beach. Born in Hoag Hospital, Newport Elementary, raised here, and having a boat in this harbor, and now to be priced out of it is unconceivable. But if you look around this room, we have to see how much fuel is being purchased by the people in this room. How many taxes are going to this country? How many people are actually servicing Newport Beach? Are we going to price those people out? Are we going to give them an opportunity to live here and enjoy the boats that they've earned? I've bled for this country. I've earned my boat. I'm asking, please, to reconsider what you're doing today in consideration of everybody in this room. I will defend you. I will defend everybody in this room, but I'm asking you to really, truly consider what is the consequences of the actions that are being taken today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Maureen Cotton. I'm a resident of the Peninsula. I sit on Central Newport Beach Community Association. I'm the president. I come and talk to a variety of you commissioners every so often. So first of all, I want to say that I think it's great that you're having this meeting, and I also think it's great that you're saying these are proposed. This is not something that's set in granite, that you are looking for feedback. I was relatively new to a lot of this until recently. Part of your presentation, and I do understand that the fair market value is a state mandated thing, but there are exceptions, and the exception was granted to the city of Newport Beach by the Harbor Commission many years ago. And part of the mooring permittee's responsibility is to serve as the eyes and ears, and as such, right, it's an exception to the fair market value rates that was established at the very beginning of the transition of this trusteeship to the city of Newport Beach, right? So number one, the permittees are supposed to be granted this. I don't have a mooring, I don't have a boat. I'm happy to live on the land. I admire all these people who do love their boats. My husband used to live on a boat.